So, Meeple just got released, and honestly, he seems like a perfectly balanced brawler. Huh. What's this? Oh. Oh. So, yeah, Supercell, you almost got it this time. Like, for real, if it was not for the gadgets, I genuinely think that Meeple would have been a balanced brawler. His weaknesses are there. He is nowhere near close to being an assassin or tank counter because his unload speed is stupidly slow. The guided shot, it's fairly annoying, but honestly, it's not really that game breaking because it kinda is compensated by the fact your projectile speed is somewhat slow. Your super, it actually acts like some sort of finisher because you can just use it and quickly give one shot to the enemy, which it is actually kinda cool. And both store powers are honestly somewhat mediocre. The second one, it's kinda nice. The first one, meh, bonus damage, no big deal. But when the gadgets come into play, Jesus Christ, the first gadget for sure will take the crown of one of the strongest gadgets ever. Not to mention that there is also a bug of infinite gadgets. Like, when we thought that Shade being able to use 2 or 3 gadgets depending on how good you played him was broken, now Meeple can just pull out infinite gadgets. When we thought things couldn't get any worse for gadgets. Like, I seriously did not expect this. And as you can guess, that is a little bit broken. Because it is actually fairly easy to do. Like, there are videos online, you can just search it and you'll easily find the tutorial. It's not even a tutorial, it's just a one-step guide. That's how easy it is. Okay, for real, if Meeple never had any of these 2 gadgets, or maybe it was something simpler, or if we don't consider gadgets, I would actually say that he is somewhat of a B tier brawler. His weaknesses are there, and he has some very good strength. And honestly, I think he's a fun brawler. I would give him the B tier. I actually feel like he would be very balanced if it was not for the gadgets. But, unfortunately, Meeple has the single most versatile, broken, and ridiculous gadget ever, and the most oppressive gadget in the entire game. Because it's not just the first gadget that's broken. It's honestly both of them. The second gadget can interrupt every ability that has a tiny delay to the super, because you can actually still use the gadget even if you're at full HP, which honestly it just gives so much value. Not to mention that the defensive value of this gadget, whew, it's wonderful. While most of the people were playing with the first gadget because I already knew the first gadget would be broken, I decided to instead try the second gadget, and honestly I had a lot of fun with it. It is very good to give 2 extra shots to the enemy. That's just how long the stun duration can be if you're at low HP. But explaining the problem with the gadgets really, because honestly I already did a video on Meeple on the balance changes that I would like to see him, but a lot has happened since that video, because now he has at max level an extra 800 HP and his reload time was reduced by 0.3 seconds. So now that I think about it, I was right, he needed those buffs, because if it was not for the gadgets he would be extremely bad without those changes as well. So that's at least something. But now, specifically talking about the first gadget, because it's the most problematic one. First off, am I the only one that thinks that the first gadget should be to the super instead of the basic attack? I feel like there is so many ways that it could nerf the first gadget that it truly depends on what you want from this gadget really. Personally, I feel like there are mainly 2 ways. Number 1 would just be to completely remove the combo of first gadget and super, and just simply make so that the gadget, instead of making your next attack be like that, make so that your next super is like that, and kind of like BB and Otis, for example. It would work similar like them. It would just be the opposite of what your super already does. And actually, when my friends that don't really play Brawl Stars that much first heard of the gadget or anything, they actually thought it was with the super, so I guess it would make a lot of sense. That's just for you to understand how powerful this gadget is. But if you want to keep the gadget to the basic attack, there are a couple of nerfs that need to happen. Number one, and I don't think that this is the most important one, but it would still change a lot, the gadget no longer can deal damage. Just like your super doesn't deal any damage, it feels a little bit fair that this gadget wouldn't deal damage, mainly because this is such a different attack. And I don't really get why it should even deal damage, considering how different it is the function of the gadget really. It's a very weird one. And on the second part of the nerf, this is the complex part, because either the enemies cannot be trapped inside, or the allies cannot be trapped inside. Probably not trapping allies inside the gadget would be the better option. But still, imagine having such a massive pushback on the walls, like an enemy is inside and then he just gets pushed back, like, I don't know, to the back. Unfortunately, I don't see many ways of making such a powerful gadget really weak. Maybe just reduce the size of the walls. Maybe that could also work. Or maybe, I don't know, make so that the walls get broken over time. So the first second it's complete, the second one it's already half destroyed, on the third second it's nearly destroyed, and on the first second it's gone. That could work, I think. There are honestly a bazillion ways you can nerf this gadget, so I'm excited to see what Supercell does with this gadget. Most likely nothing. No! But I'm still excited. Finally, we still have the second gadget. Now, even though the second gadget it's not getting, I would say, the attention it deserves, considering how strong the second gadget is in my opinion, there is still one nerf that needs to happen to this gadget, but this one it's fairly simple. Just make so that you cannot use this gadget when you're at full HP, because that simply allows you to interrupt any super in the game really. Because this gadget it's a stun and then it's the pushback. You can interrupt anything. Daryl supers, Colette, Pearl, Draco, Frank, anything you could wish. So for me, the obvious nerf would just be to simply make so that you cannot use the gadget at full HP. I mean, this is meant to be based on how little HP you have, so the opposite of Colette. And there should be a bare minimum where the effectiveness would be annihilated. Colette has the minimum of 1000 damage, and Meeple cannot use the gadget at full HP. Makes perfect sense to me. Obviously, considering how broken the first gadget is, I'm not expecting a nerf to Meeple's second gadget anytime soon. That's why I bought it. So yeah, for the star powers, for everything else, I genuinely think that Meeple is balanced. So honestly, congratulations Supercell on the release of Meeple. I feel like it was a fairly successful one, except for this gadget. You gotta do something about this gadget. I cannot deal with it anymore.